Alright, this is going to be the final part about the story of TheMediaCows, part 3, and it's where Tom really comes into the fold. So I mentioned that Tom was a League of Legends buddy with Dewey, and that was his in, and then he did Dark Souls. And then he just kept on asking if there was anything else that he could do. And he arranged this situation where he was going to do a part 1 on the TheMediaCows channel for a game that we aren't doing, and then he would link over to his personal channel, Tom Walks Through. And that would hopefully boost up his personal channel a bit, and also benefit TheMediaCows. And he wouldn't get paid for those part 1s, although I then kind of changed it around and said, okay, we'll pay you a little bit for those part 1s, because it's benefiting us having these videos up, but it's also benefiting you. And then we started to go back and forth with contract negotiations and me typing up a contract, which I'd never really done before, and we were just giving each other counter-offers after counter-offer, and then Dewey talked to him one day and pitched me the idea of him being in TheMediaCows, and the reason was, I don't know, like, throughout this time, like, right, me and Raymond did a lot of walkthroughs together. We did dual commentary because we have a pretty common interest when it comes to games. Like, our favorite games, one of our favorite games is Uncharted, and so when it comes to games, me and Raymond have similar tastes. And Dewey was always a little bit on the outside of that. Dewey liked things like Guild Wars, League of Legends, and Dewey thought that here's a guy that has very similar interests to him, and Tom could do dual commentary with him and everything would match up. So I agreed to it. I was like, sounds like a good idea, and that was the beginning of Tom, as you know him in TheMediaCows. And so that was fall of 2011, or the end of 2011 or the beginning of 2012. I can't really remember. And this is then where I have this issue where I like to start fresh at the beginning of every month. Like, I come up with all of these ideas that I want to do, and I say, alright, I'll wait until the end of the week, or I'll wait until the end of the month, and then I'll start fresh with the new month, and we'll do the next month right. And that goes for the year, too. So January, I was like trying to come up with a really solid plan for TheMediaCows with all of these different ideas, getting sponsors, that kind of stuff. I do want to kind of address one comment that was made that said we didn't do things as friends would. We did things to make money. Not really. All of my strategy wasn't about trying to get the most views possible. I mean, if a channel wants to get the most views possible, we should have been making like the top 10 sexiest women in games and videos like that, or trying to tie celebrity stuff into it and then put like pictures of hot women in the thumbnails. We didn't do any of that. I just wanted to create an outlet that covered games the way I kind of wanted them to be covered, because I always felt like IGN, GameSpot, if you look at how they cover games, they don't really cover them with that much detail. They have like a preview, and then a couple months later maybe another preview, but they don't obsess over information. And that's what I kind of wanted to do with the channel, but it never really came through because that's a lot of work. And I was always conflicted. I was conflicted by network negotiations, by CPM rates. I was conflicted if, you know, like friends get into arguments. If me and Dewey got into an argument one day, like, I don't want to work with Dewey that day, and it would just kind of mess with things. Or Dewey doesn't want to work with me, or Raymond doesn't want to work with Tom, or whatever the case may be. But PAX East came, and this PAX East was, well, we didn't go. I remember now. We didn't go to this PAX East. The PAX Prime of 2011 was probably the best PAX that we ever went to, because I got to know, actually, like, we got to go behind the scenes with the Penny Arcade founders, and, like, when you go to a convention and you talk to the PR people, when you go up to Bethesda and there is a party going on, this happened at PAX 2012, there's a party going on, and Tom goes in front of the line and goes towards the VIP entrance, and we weren't on a VIP list or anything, but he mentioned he was with the TheMediaCows, and the Bethesda people are like, oh, we know you guys, come on in. Like, it's really cool stuff like that would happen at PAX. Anyways, so there was a lot of conflicting thoughts in my head of what I kind of wanted to do with MediaCows. Should we do dual commentary? Because dual commentary is a lot of work. It involves me going over a lot of times to Raymond's place for the 10 hours that it takes to play the game, and I'm just watching him play for 10 hours and talking. And that can be a lot of fun, especially when wine's involved. But it can also be really draining. Then we experimented like with Prototype, doing 4-person commentary all at once, which I thought was pretty good. But again, it involved being in a Skype conversation for like 10 hours, just staring at a computer screen watching someone play games, and that wasn't really fun. And then we got really, really competitive with like Ghost Robo, and not really Brad, but with Ghost Robo, Tetra Ninja. And it was... Competition's good, but also bad, and it takes away the fun out of things. And I always try to handle like all the business stuff on my end and let Raymond and Dewey and Tom focus on having fun. But there's obviously bleed over, and yeah, so there's a lot of not so good things that happened mid 2012, just because I'd always go back and forth of what I wanted to do with the channel, and we just really didn't have any answers, which is why I said that there's a ton of stuff that I've learned along the way. I'm in a decent place now, like with what I want to do, minus network problems and CPM rates, but that's for another video. And yeah, so 2012 was just, I think, a lot of stagnation. Like, there wasn't much that changed. Raymond and I didn't go to PAX East. Dewey and Tom just went to PAX East. PAX East in 2012 occurred on Easter, like that Easter weekend, and I wasn't about to miss Easter with my family, so that's why I didn't go. I don't remember. I think Raymond didn't go because there was some screw up with the email, and he didn't get an email saying he was accepted, even though he was. And then summer came, and there's a summer drought of games, of course, as always. And then the fall came, and it's pretty much where we are now. I mean, we switched networks. There were a bunch of network issues, like Machinima wanting to be in... Dogs outside my room. Machinima wanting to be in control of a lot of things. It's not bad-mouthing Machinima, but they just didn't want us uploading videos when we wanted to upload videos, and we get into arguments over, look, we got permission from this publisher to upload the game, and then they would try to reach out to them and no one would answer because it's the end of the business day, and we'd say, we're gonna post, and they'd say, no, you're not, we'll take it down. So we'd get into fights like that. Then we, of course, I think Raymond and I did a video in February talking about a network change, and now there's issues with the CPM rates, we think, which is kind of hurting financially. And it's pretty much where we are now. So that is the story of MediaCows. I feel like a lot of my memory of it is in 2010 and 2011. And when 2012 comes, it just is all kind of a blur. I think it's because I did too much thinking and not enough actually doing and experiencing things. I would sit and walk around outside just by myself thinking about what kind of videos I wanted to make. And so that's why it's a lot of blur. There's a lot of talking in 2012. But that's the story of MediaCows. That's how Tom got involved. That's how all the people that you don't know, Austin and them, they all went away. How Raymond's still around, even though there was a time where he almost kind of quit, and there was a time when he was almost not hired by Austin, even though we weren't getting paid. Like, I don't know, we're not going to hire you, and we're not going to pay you even if we do hire you. Like, that's not a very good pitch, but yeah. And you got to see him with Jesus hair, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to make a separate video, because I was going to do it in this video, but I'm running out of time right now because I have to be somewhere, about advice and things that I've learned about creating a YouTube channel, about being personality-driven, but not too personality-driven. Actually having some substance there to back up, unless you're incredibly funny, then it'll work out for you. And then, of course, the network stuff. I'm going to tie all of that into like the next video that I do, the network advice, the channel advice. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the story of MediaCows, and I will see you tomorrow.